Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host Jennifer, and today we have a tutorial and it's fun and it's for no real purpose other than just having fun and making something together. I filmed this tutorial from beginning to end. There are no breaks. I don't pause at any point. So the entirety of this tutorial, it took me about 1 entire hour to make it start to finish. So you should be able to make one right alongside me. So now, what are we making today? We're making ghosties. Now, I use 2 different yarns for these, and I'm actually going to make a third one, which I will explain. The first one I made, which was my prototype, I made with the Bloom Chenille yarn from Premier Yarns. I just used a scrap ball that I had left over. I will link this yarn below because I think it's really fun. I also saw a, turn off spot focus. I saw a, on Kayla, Llama Mama Kayla, she bought some yarn that was exactly like this at Michael's. It was the Loops and Threads yarn. I have not tried that one. I don't know if it's the same yarn with a different label on it or not. It could be, but this is the yarn from, I got this from Premier Yarns, is Bloom Chenille. But you can buy yarn just like this at Michael's if you have a Michael's near you and you would prefer to shop in person. This is my ghostie with the good sheets. So you all have those real pretty sheets that, you know, are for like the good times on your bed. You want your bed to be pretty, so you put the pretty. I actually had sheets that were very similar to this at one time. They were blue with pink flowers on it. So this is the ghostie with the good sheets. Kind of like Becky with the good hair. It's the ghostie with the good sheets. And then this is a ghostie made out of a totally different yarn entirely. This is made with Bernat Plush. This yarn is hard on the hands, and he is much stiffer and more solid. This is soft, this is plushy, this is like squishy. This is like, it feels like I made it with macrame yarn. This yarn I think I bought this at Joann's, not positive. They're both a 6-weight yarn, I believe. I think they're both a 6-weight yarn. I used a 6mm hook for the tutorial. I used part of the ball of that. I didn't use very much at all, and this didn't even shrink by half. So you can use this making scraps. And I am absolutely going to make a third ghostie out of this yellow yarn so that we have the good sheets. The plain old white sheet ghost, and then the yellow sheet ghost, because I think it's funny and it makes me giggle. Because I'm 4 years old inside my brain. So I'm going to get yellow sheet ghost too. Like I said, the tutorial took all of a whole hour to make together. And I do talk during it. It's not like I'm just showing you I'm stitching. I do talk and tell you weird stories and stuff that's going on in my life. And I did the skirt on these ones a little bit differently. I will explain how I did that in the tutorial as well. So what you need for the tutorial is you need a bulky yarn or 2 strands of a 4-weight worsted yarn held together to make this size ghost. You can make it with a smaller skinnier yarn and a smaller hook, but the ghost will come out smaller. You need a pair of safety eyes, or I am going to link Joe's web below because she has a tutorial for crochet eyes that are beautiful and they would look really cute on my ghostie. And so I'm going to link her in case you want to make crocheted eyes if you don't have these kind of eyes. And you need something to stuff the ghost with. Polyfill will work. Cut open an old pillow will work. And also, like, if you have a bunch of yarn scraps, you can just shove it in there and that will work as stuffing as well. So that's what you need. You need a small amount of yarn, some sort of eyeballs, either you make them or not, and a 6mm hook. And then of course you need like scissors, and you need a needle to weave in your ends, which I have not done yet. But yeah, let's go down to the table and start this tutorial. Alright, to get started, you can use any fat yarn for this tutorial. I'm using Bernat Plush. It's kind of an off-white color. Yeah, it says off-white. It is a super bulky number 6. This yarn is 100% polyester. The reason I'm using this for the tutorial is because the stitches will show up a lot easier on camera for you guys. But also, like, any chenille yarn will work. So any fat chenille yarn, you can honestly make this with any yarn. just keep in mind, if you're using like a basic acrylic yarn, like a 4-weight, it's going to turn out smaller. It's not going to be this size. And you know what? We're going to outer pull because I can't seem to find the center of this ball. And I have these really cool things that help me outer pull. We're just going to go from here. Alright. I got my end out. I got my eyeballs ready. You're going to need eyeballs. Now, you can make eyeballs. Joe from Joe's Web has a fantastic tutorial for eyeballs. If you want to make crocheted eyeballs, more power to you. I'm just using, and I love her eyeball. Her eyeball is really easy and it's beautiful. But for time constraints, I'm just going to use plastic eyeballs for this. I'm going to use the bigger eyeballs. Alright, now, this yarn recommends a 10mm hook. I went down to a 6mm hook. This is a Merit hook. They are available on Amazon. They are in my Amazon store at all times. It's one of my favorite wood hooks. It's one of the only wood hooks I will actually use. Now, to start, I'm going to show you how to do a magic ring, but you really could just work this into a slip stitch because it's kind of the same thing. Alright, to make a magic ring, you start the same way that you make a slip stitch, okay? You make this little awareness ribbon with the short tail on the bottom. You pinch it at the X. Go in from the top, pull up a loop. And then, instead of pulling that tight like you would for a slip stitch, you just chain 1. You got a magic ring, and you just work over the tail and the ring, and we need 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to pull my tail to make the hole a little smaller because we're almost at the end. And 6. Okay. Now if you need to keep track of your rows, because we're not going to connect and then chain to go to the next row. We are quite literally just going to crochet in a circle. To do that, to keep track of where your beginning of your row is, we're going to use a stitch marker, okay? So this is the beginning of the next row. We're going to put 2 single crochets in this very first stitch. Instead of slip stitching to join, we're going to put 2 single crochets in that stitch. Okay? And then in the first of those 2 stitches, we're going to slip our stitch marker in there so that we know that that's the end of the row or the beginning of the next row, okay? And then in every stitch all the way around, we're going to put 2 single crochets. This yarn is way thicker than the Chenille yarn, so this Ghostie is going to be a lot stiffer. At the end of this first row, you should have 12 single crochets, but if you don't, if you have 14, if you have 10, it's going to be fine. Just keep going. Okay? I mean, you really want it to be 12, but if you're, I'm always off when I do amigurumi. I am always off, so I don't even count. I just do 2 in each row all the way around. Or 2 in each stitch all the way around. Alright, now we're back to that stitch marker, right? We're going to pop the stitch marker out. And in that stitch, we're going to put 2 single crochets. And in the first one, put your stitch marker back in there. Put another single crochet in that same stitch. Okay? And then in the next stitch, we're just going to put a single crochet, just 1 single crochet. And then in the next stitch, we're going to put 2 single crochet, and that will be the pattern of this row. Is we're going to do 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet. And one thing you're going to notice about this tutorial, because I'm outer pulling using that thing, I usually have to keep pulling the yarn and pulling the yarn. I don't have to do that. You're going to notice it. Alright, 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet. Little man is talking rather loudly. 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, not double, we're doing singles, singles, not doubles. Alright, my brain is like moving on from the project to something else. Alright, now we're back in that very, let me take that out of my mouth. We're back to the very first stitch of the row, so we're going to put 2 single crochets in that one. Put that first stitch, we're going to put our stitch marker back, put another one in the same stitch, 2 single crochets. Now we're going to put a single crochet here and a single crochet here, and then 2 single crochets, and then a single crochet, 2 single crochets. That's going to be the pattern all the way around. Okay, so we have 2, and then we need 1, and then 1 next to it, and then 2 in the same stitch, and then 1, and then 1, and then 2, and then 1, and 1, and then 2. And so on and so forth. 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. We're going to do that all the way around. 1 and 1. We're having some fun doing crochet all day and all of the night. And then there's 2 in that one. And then 1. And then 1. And then we're back at that first crochet again. Pull our stitch marker out. We're going to put 2 in that stitch. And in the first one, we pop our little stitch marker. Put another one in that same stitch. So your row should always be on 2 single crochets. And then in the next 3 stitches, we're just going to put a single crochet in each one of those stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we put 2. And then in the next 3 stitches, we just put 1 single crochet, 2, 3, and then we put 2 single crochets. And then in the next 3 stitches, we put a single crochet, and we do it all the way around. Same pattern, 3 and then 2, 3 and then 2. He always talks so loud on the phone. One, 2, 3. This yarn hurts my hands way more than the chenille was. And then we put 2. And then 3, 2, and 3. All right, now we can remove the stitch marker. I mean, you could leave it there if you want. We're just gonna, for the next several rows, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Next 12 rows or so, just single crochet in the round. Or until your ghost is about the height that you want him to be, or her to be. Just single crochet in every stitch, round and round, till you have about 12 rows. If you want your ghost to be taller, do more rows. If you want to be shorter, do less rows. Now that song stuck in my head. 1 and 1, we're having some fun doing crochet all day and all of the night. 2 and 2, I'm crocheting a shoe in my office all day and all of the night. 3 and 3. I'm gonna crochet my knee in the office all day and all of the night. Alright. We're just going to keep doing this, and what's going to happen is it's going to start to curve. It's going to start to curl, probably towards you, but eventually we're going to just curl it away from us, and it will make, this is the top, this is the head of the ghostie. We're going to keep going around. I'm going to say this is not the best yarn for amigurumi, but you can see this way better than the chenille yarn on camera. That's why I'm using it. I also thought about using the Premier Puzzle, but it was a little bit thinner than this, so I chose this. I have actually quite a few white bulky yarns, and I was like, I have one that is one of those mixed media yarns, so it's white, but like it starts off with like a smooth acrylic, and then it turns into like a fuzzy acrylic, and then it turns into like a glittery yarn. And so the ghostie would be like striped, which would be fine. But we landed on this one, and this one's really hard to crochet with. And it also has a little bit of holyness going on. So this feels almost like I'm crocheting with macrame, except it's not as like it's real soft, like it's soft. But in this type of project, it feels like I'm crocheting with macrame, like it's real thick and dense like macrame, but it's got a soft, smooth texture on the outside. So I'm gonna say that this yarn specifically would be fantastic for like household stuff, but I would not necessarily use this for wearable, because it's, I mean, if I was using a bigger hook it might feel different, but because it wants me to use a 10mm and I'm using a 6, this feels very rope-like all worked up. Now, my first one was a prototype, and I was using a much softer, flimsier yarn. I was using the Bloom Chenille from Premier Yarns. Just using a scrap ball, and it took me all of 45 minutes to make it from start to finish. So I'm kind of timing myself. We're at 13 minutes now. I don't think it's going to take, it might even take me less time. Oh, we have a piece of yarn sticking out from the center of the ball. It's tangling things up. I tuck that in. There we go. Now it's moving free again. Well, I'm timing this. Is this going to take 45 minutes start to finish? Are you guys making one with me, or are you just watching and listening to me talk? Well, since we're crocheting and we're just working in a circle and I don't need to describe anything to you, I can tell you about my day. I'm filming this yesterday, and my plan was, because some days little man's homeschooling only takes a few hours and we're done by maybe 1:30. Okay? And I have time to come in here and make videos. Today was not one of those days. Today was a day that made me regret all of my choices. I'm already high on energy. I'm not even high on energy. I'm high on anxiety. Truth be known, my anxiety is through the roof right now just from everything that's going on. The doctor's appointments, the car accident, the just gotten done traveling, the AC guy was out 2 days in a row. I will give you guys an update on all of these things in the future. But my anxiety's high because of all that. So I'm already stressed out and I'm on edge. Today's the day little man chose to fight me on everything. He didn't want to do his math. He didn't understand his math. And then I made him do a whole worksheet having explained the math to him the wrong way. Because I have not done math in a very long time, and I forgot a very simple step. He got it right. He just, all the answers were wrong because I forgot to carry or drop the 0 for multiplication. When you're multiplying 3 sets of 3s by sets of 2s, you have to drop that 0 when you're adding the numbers at the bottom. And I forgot that step, and I forgot to explain that to him, so all of our math was wrong. And he was frustrated with me, I was frustrated with myself, and he's frustrated because he don't know what the heck's going on. So we started over. We worked on his math problems together. However, even though the math part was very frustrating, he was fighting me a lot. We are a couple of days ahead with his science, so we don't have to do any science tomorrow while you're watching this tutorial. We are ahead on English, so he doesn't have any English tomorrow. He even took his quiz for the week. So it wasn't a wash, but I didn't finish school till 3:30 almost, at which time Mr. Cinnamon came home and was asking about dinner, which I have not pulled anything out because I still haven't gone to the grocery store and bought anything. It's one of those days, guys. And I knew I wanted to get a tutorial up for Friday. That was my goal for myself. And I've been thinking about this little ghost all week. And I just wanted to get the tutorial up, so. Mr. Cinnamon, as you can tell, is sick. He's got a cough going on. And we're dealing with the insurance company because of the car accident. And it's just a lot's going on. Oops, I lost the stitch. I'm not even particularly crocheting like tight, but these stitches are like, I think I probably could have benefited from using a slightly bigger hook just because it's hurting. But I didn't have any problems with the Bloom chenille. So if you have like a basic chenille, any of the chenille yarn, chenille, the parfait, those should be fine with a 6mm hook. And if you don't have any fat chunky yarns, you could hold 2 4-weights together. And if you feel like the 6mm hook is too, like it's too tight, you can go up a hook size. You just really, you don't want gaps. You don't want big gaps or holes where the fluff is going to come out, or where you're going to see the fluff. And I'm going to be real honest with you guys. So we have the white ghostie, and we have the Bloom flowery ghostie, which this is the sheet. This ghost is using the good sheets, right? But I also kind of want to do a yellow ghostie because, you know, the yellow sheets, you know what I'm talking about. If you're a mom, you know what the yellow sheet means. I just, for my own entertainment, want to make a yellow sheeted ghost. And I also kind of want to make some neon or fluorescent ones. I also have glow-in-the-dark yarn in white. So I was thinking about making a glow-in-the-dark yarn ghost. The glow-in-the-dark yarn I got from Joann's. It's like $6 a ball. It's like really expensive for a little tiny bit of yarn, but it's fun to play with. But I really want some fluorescent or neon, some brightly colored ghosties. Because white ghosties are fine and they're cute, but I mean, Pac-Man has colored ghosts, why can't I? I also need to go in the garage and find my Halloween decorations because I have dismembered heads that I crocheted last year or the year before. I have a Frankenstein head, a vampire head, and a witch head that I crocheted last year, which pretty much can be made really similarly to the way that we're making this. Just so you know, this could very well be a dismembered head. You just start from the bottom and you work your way up, and I kind of make like a flat top and just do it with like vampire colors. Or like my vampire, I did gray for the face skin because, you know, vampires are dead, so gray. And then I made his hair black, and then I put features on his face. And then for Frankenstein, I did his face as green and his hair black, and I used a spike stitch for his hairline so it was not even, you know. And then I embroidered on some facial features, and I used safety eyes for all of them. And then I embroidered on stitches for his, you know, his stitches on his face. And then for the witch one, I believe I used green for her skin, and then I made a purple witch hat to go on her head. It's the same type of idea with this. Like, you just make this. This is the bottom of their face. And then you crochet it up, and then I'll show you how to do the top part for, like, closing off the butt. This literally could be a head. Just saying. Just without the ruffle on it. Of course, Oreo's going to pop the door open. I didn't lock her out. Exit. Go. Yeah, girl. She doesn't want me. She doesn't want anything. She just pops the door open because she can't stand that door being closed. And it has nothing to do with whether I'm in here or not. She just does not like that door being closed. And Bentley's already in here, so that door don't need to be open. When I say your name, you're going to shift really loudly. He's like, I'm going to shift loud. So has anybody been watching anything good on TV or the internet? I have not had any time to watch anything good. I caught up on Sister Wives. I got the first episode of, in case you're watching this way in the future, I've watched the first episode of season 19 of Sister Wives. I used to really like the show. I'm kind of addicted now because like the drama, but I don't do reality TV. But I started watching Sister Wives because at the time it aired, my sister was living with me with her 2 girls. And this is before she got all problematic. And her and I used to work as a team. So we're sisters and we're moms living in the same house. And Mr. Cinnamon at the time was out of town. He lived in a different state from me because he came to Washington, D.C. for some opportunities. He interned for the summer. And so I had a good 3 or 4 months where it was just me and my sister in the house, you know. And we were raising the girls together, and the girls were 3, 3, and 5. And I related to Sister Wives at the time and started watching it because, like, her and I very much worked like the Sister Wives did, where we co-parented and there was not a lot of issues, and we relied on each other. And that's why I started watching Sister Wives. And then I got hooked, and I started, like, you know, you feel connection to the family somehow and watch them go through stuff. And, you know, especially this past year when one of their sons made a decision that was permanent and devastating to his family. It just was heartbreaking to watch. And now it's like very frustrating to watch Sister Wives because I think a lot of times in reality TV shows, the money kind of controls everything and it destroys family. My mom always said you can't worship God and money. And whether you worship God or not, that's not the point of this at all. But it seems like when money becomes a priority in your life and you become like everything is about the money, I think that's when lives can get destroyed. Putting the benefit of the TV show over your family, you know. And the same goes for YouTubers. YouTubers get so stuck on, oh, the money, the money, the money. Like the bigger named ones. One of the big name YouTubers, this person is not at all a yarn YouTuber. Not even close. I would watch them all the time, and the more money they were making, the less I liked them because they started to become very show-offy. Like, ooh, look what I bought, look what I got. I'm like, yeah, nobody cares. And then they started to think that they were better than everyone else and started talking trash in their videos. I'm like, yeah, I'm unsubscribing real quick. because nobody in this world is better than anyone else. The main value of life is to be a good person. That's my thoughts on the subject. It's better to be a good person and poor than to be a bad person and rich. Oh, we're cruising. We're at 26 minutes. And we're almost done. Let's see how many rows we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About three more rows to go. It's looking kind of cool. Hopefully I have stayed on camera the whole time because I haven't been looking at my hands and not been looking at the camera. I'll notice when I'm editing a tutorial, I will look down and I forget to look up and see if and I'll be like way over here, or over there, up there. Like, dang it. It's really hard to stay right here. Because what you don't know is the camera is only about 4 inches away from my hands. So I'm working in a very tiny space. And the amount of space, it's about 2.5 inches from here to here. So I have to stay within a 2.5 inch area to stay on frame. In case you don't know. That's why it's so fun to make tutorials. And not everybody can do it. Like, there are some people, I've watched tutorials and I'm like, oh, the whole video is either blurry. And I have had videos where it's blurry. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Doing tutorials are hard. It's hard. Or I watched one tutorial. It was a really old tutorial, and the camera was so far away from the person you couldn't even see what they were doing. It was like 10 feet up high. I'm like, yeah, can't really see the stitches. Ooh, my hand's hurting. Your hand hurting too? You're not even making a ghost, are you? You're working on like a blanket or something, aren't you? You make a ghost. I want you guys to be creative. I want you to use the good sheets. I want you to use the yellow sheets. I want you to make some funky ghosts in wild colors, okay? Make some Pac-Man ghosts, doesn't matter. I do pumpkins a lot, tutorials, so I'm like, we're going to do a ghost. We're going to do something different. Ooh, doggy. Arms are burning. It's burning. That's really looking cute. It's looking cute. Let me compare it to the other one. Yeah, we still got a couple more rows to go. Couple more rows to go. Now, what we're gonna do when we finish doing this crocheting in the round crap, and the reason we're crocheting in the round and we're not connecting a row, and there's no seam. You see that? There's no seam. That's why we are connecting it. We're not doing like, you can kind of see where, no, that ain't even the right section. See, I can't even tell where the row ended. When you're doing an amigurumi, it is best to go in the round completely and not do the slip stitch to join and chain up for the next row, because otherwise you're going to have a seam, and no matter what you do, you're going to have a seam. Couple more rows. So I'm going to say about 12 rows, like I said. If you want a short ghost, do 10 rows. If you get to this point, you're like, oh my god, I can't do another row in the round, my hands hurt, my arms hurt. You can stop. You can go into the next step. We're almost there. If you want to make it a longer, taller ghost, you can do that too. Just do more rows. 14, 16 rows, doesn't matter. 17 rows. Does not matter. If you want to make a really big ghost, if you know how to work in the round and the flat, you need to keep making this as big as you want and then just crocheting the round after that, if you know. I think, I'm not positive, we're on row 11. I'm kind of keeping track of every time the stitch marker goes past me. I also have my fluff all ready to go. Now this is going to be a no-sew ghost, but we are going to have to cut the yarn once and reattach it at some point. But it's not difficult. Nothing about this is difficult. Oof, I gotta give my arm a break. Hold up, wait a minute. It's important to do your stretches in between. Stretch your arms, stretch your shoulders, stretch your neck, stretch your back. And check his height. He could probably be a little taller, but I think I'm going to call it because I'm hurting. Alright, now, one more single crochet. If you leave this in here, I'm just using that kind of as a guide to end the row, because what we're going to do now is we're going to slip stitch to make this stitch shorter. Okay, we're going to chain one, and then we're going to double crochet in this stitch and every stitch all the way around. Double crochet. Okay, so that chain one doesn't really count as anything. It's just so that we're a little bit higher here. And then double crochet in that same stitch, and then double crochet all the way around. On every stitch, just put one double crochet. This is going to help us set up the decrease row for the belly and the ruffle row. Okay, the ruffle row is the bottom of his little skirt down here. Double crochet all the way around. Whew. We're at 33 minutes. We're cruising now. I'm gonna say it's probably gonna take us slightly over 45 minutes for me to finish this. I could be wrong. I'm watching the clock. And if you are nowhere near this point, like if you crochet slower than me, that's cool, we're not racing. I'm just trying to time it for myself, for my own purposes. Because a lot of people ask, well, how long did it take you to make it? Well, about 45 minutes. The chenille one, I feel like will whip faster because the yarn is soft. Oreo's popping the door again. You are on my nerves, dog. You're on my nerves. She literally walks in, walks right back out. Over and over again. Mom, why did you close this door? Mom, why did you close this door? Because I didn't invite you in, that's why. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with Bentley. She just don't like that door closed. Matter of fact, when I go out of town, I have to lock that door. Because she will pop the door open and then Bentley comes in here and steals stuff. Because he likes cardboard. So he will take cones of yarn outside or washi tape if he could find it, which I had to hide from him. Alright. I'm going to just put one more here. And then we're going to slip stitch right there. We're going to slip stitch it to join. And then we're going to turn our work so that we're looking at the inside. Okay, because now we're going to work inside here. We're going to create this bottom. And the way that we're going to do that is we are going to chain one, turn our work. We're going to crochet around the posts. We're going to do single crochets around the posts. Get your fingers in there and pull your stitches apart. We're going to work around these posts, okay? So go in there, got the first stitch, pull up a loop, pull off 2. It's just a single crochet like we've always done, except it's around the post. Go to the next one, single crochet. It's a little bit squeaky. If you got to pull these stitches apart, pull them apart. Don't worry about it. See, we pull, make sure you get every post. And what this is going to do is it's going to give us a place on the inside of the ghostie to decrease. And it's going to give us a ridge. I'll show you in a minute. A ridge on the outside to build the ruffle. Okay. Just single crochet around the post, around the double crochet stitch we just made. You should have the same amount of single crochets that you have double crochets of the previous row. I didn't count. I don't know what that number is. Single crochet around the post. Trying to go slow. You guys can see what I'm doing. And this is fiddly because you're working on the inside of the project and this part is like pushing against you. Get rough with it. It'll go back in place. Get rough with it. Pull it. This yarn almost has like a suede feel on the outside. Like suede. It's the only way I can describe it. I feel like I'm crocheting with suede cord. And it's really squeaky. If that bothers you, go ahead and mute me. Mute it. See how that's looking. We got a ridge here. It's hard to tell because it's, see, it's got like, this is the stitch we're going to work on. We're going to work here, and then this is where we're going to do the ruffle on the outside. So right now we're just making single crochets around the post. And then when we get to the end of the row, or the end of this row, we're going to do a decrease row until we closed off the belly. And then we're going to cut that part off. And then we're going to make the ruffle on the outside. Alright, now, when we get, oops, when we get done with this row, because I'm almost there, I'm going to set it down. And I'm going to pop my eyeballs in. I'm going to slip stitch to join that first single crochet. Alright. Now, put your eyeballs wherever they look cute. Don't seal them off until you get a good idea what you want your eyeballs to look like. Alright, those are noses. Got some eyeballs here. Different size eyeballs. These are the bigger ones. I really need to order more eyeballs or better eyeballs because I have, looks like I have one of this size and the rest are this size, and they are absolutely a different size. At least they look different. And then I think we're going to do green eyes. We got green sparkles. So, got the sparkly side and the regular side. Yep, I think that'll work. Get 2 backs out. Alright, close that up. Alright, now, to determine where we want our eyes, we need to first figure out where the stitch marker is. That's going to go towards the back. Okay. Then we're going to take our eyes and we're going to come down about an inch from the top. About an inch. We want to make sure our eyes are not too far apart or else it'll look goofy. And plop it in. And then just kind of play with it. You don't want them too close together either because they'll look goofy. So I'll try it right here. Trying to make sure it's in the same like row. Does that look cute? And just play with it. Don't seal it until you look and you go, yeah, I think that looks good. Make sure they're in the same row. And these are about 1, 2, 3. They're about 4 or 5 stitches apart. And make sure they're like at a good height from here and a good height from the bottom. And then go ahead and pop them on. Now Sandy from Crochet Canada burns the back of hers. Like after you snap them on, she burns them so that they stay in. I'm not making these for little kids. I'm making these for decorations for myself, so I don't do any of that extra stuff. But you can absolutely melt the back of those. Just make sure they're on there good. Because I've made little man stuff and he's pulled the eyeballs out. Oh, the green eyes are cute. I like it. I like it. Alright, now we're going to do one decrease row and then we're going to add some stuffing to it. So let's go back to the inside. Now what we're going to do, because the last row we did where we increased was 2 double crochet and then 3 stitches in between it and then 2 double crochet, we're going to do the same thing here, except we're going to do decrease. So we're going to single crochet 2 stitches together. So I'm going to chain 1. And we're going to go in this stitch, pull up a loop, and in the next stitch, and pull up a loop. And then pull them both off. That's a decrease. And then we're going to do 3 stitches. Just 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. And then in the next 2 stitches, we're going to do a decrease. So go in the next stitch, pull up a loop, and the next stitch after that, pull up a loop. Pull off all 3. That's our decrease. And then in the next 3 stitches, we're going to put a single crochet in each one of those. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll do a decrease. On the next stitch, pull up a loop, and go in the stitch after that, pull up a loop. Pull off all 3 stitches. And if you got to manhandle this and be rough with it and pull those stitches apart, you do that. And then we do 3 single crochets. 2, 3. And then a decrease. Go in the next stitch, pull up a loop. Go in the stitch after that, pull up a loop. Pull off all 3. Whew. Yeah, this is hurting way more than the chenille yarn was feeling. And then put single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 2, 3. Just keep folding it over so you can get to the stitches. And then we'll do a decrease. So pull up a loop. Pull up a loop in the next stitch. Pull off all 3. 1, 2, 3. Single crochets. And do a decrease. And then 1, 2, 3. Apparently I had one more stitch that I'm supposed to have, which is fine. I'm going to do a decrease there. Alright. Now, I'm going to grab some stuffing. You can stuff this with fluff. You can stuff it with yarn scraps. Whatever you got laying around. Just gonna jam it in there. I'm gonna lift you guys up so you can see a little better. There we go. Oh, I dropped you out. Alright. Stuff it in there and stuff it in there. You can stuff it as tight as you want or as loose as you want. I'm gonna overstuff it because I want it to be on the firm side. I'm just gonna push it, push it, push it. Grab some more. This is my third handful, and I got pretty big handfuls. Stuff it, stuff it, stuff it, stuff it. Pull your little lip forward where you're crocheting. Alright. Don't be afraid to manhandle it. Squish it and get it in the right shape. Alright. I think that's good enough. Those 3 giant handfuls. He's more flat on the bottom than she is. Look at that. She's got a little curve to her butt. Alright. Go back in. And this part always gets in my way. If you have something to put there, like a disc or like a piece of flat material or something, just to hold it down, you put something in there and hold it down. I'm not going to do that. I used to have plastic plastic canvas circles that I would put in the bottom of my amigurumis, but I got rid of them. Alright, now this next row, I just put a decrease there, so we're going to do 2 single crochets in this row and then a decrease. So 2 single crochets and then a decrease all the way around. 2 double crochets and then a decrease. The decrease is the same. You just pull up a loop in the next 2 stitches and then pull off all 3. I'm going to have to wrestle it a little bit. I'm just getting smaller workspace. And then a single crochet in the next 2 stitches. Mr. Simon's coughing. It's getting on my nerves. He needs to take some medicine. Do a decrease. And then single crochet the next 2 stitches. And then decrease. My memory card is full. I'll be right back. Put in a fresh battery while I was there. Hopefully that does it. Yeah, it says I have 3 hours left now. Alright, when I checked, we were at 47 minutes, so we definitely made it over 45 minutes, but 2 stitches. And then a decrease. One, 2, decrease. These stitches are definitely getting tighter. It's starting to snag the yarn more. I can feel it. Come on, get out the way. Move, Fluff, get out the way. Get out the way, Fluff. Ooh, Fluff. Whoops. Pulled a little bit too hard there. And then decrease the 2 together. Alright. Now, we're back at the end of the row. So now we're going to do 1 single crochet and a decrease all the way around. So single crochet and then 2 single crochets together. Single crochet and then 2 single crochets together. And then single crochet and then 2 single crochets together. My hand is hurting. Ooh, 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 doggy. And a single crochet, and then 2 together. Single crochet, 2 together. So it's kind of like we're reverse engineering what we did on the top. So in all of those places we're putting we put an increase, now we're putting a decrease. So it's like we're reversing it. And these are the basic skills you need to make any amigurumi. You need to be able to increase and decrease and make it rounded. And right. Now we're back at the beginning of the row. So now we're going to just every stitch, every 2 stitches, we're going to do two single crochets together, next 2 stitches, 2 single crochets together, next stitch, 2 crochets together, next 2 stitches, 2 single crochets together. Try not to bring the fluff up with your hook. And we're going to do this in the round until it's closed up. And we close this little butt. Ooh-wee. Come on. Now, I'm just going to go in, slip stitch to close, leave a tail, we can weave in our end, that's what his little butt looks like, his little underside. We can just weave that in when we're done. Now what we're going to do is, see right here, this kind of like this weird funky stitch. We're going to put the yarn and reattach it right there. So we're going to make a slip stitch, just like we made the magic ring. It's exactly the same. Pull it tight this time though. Alright. We're going to connect it on the other side of that weird stitch. We're going to slip stitch it in. We're going to join it, okay? Now we're going to chain 1. Now, we are making the ruffle, okay? Now, if you made the brain with me, you're already going to know what to do here. I am going to put 2 double crochets in every stitch, and occasionally I'm going to put 3 double crochets, okay? So this first stitch, I'm going to do 3 double crochets in it, and we're working on this ridge. See how it created that really cool ridge? We're working in the ridge. Okay, so each one of these stitches right here, if you're looking at it this way, each one of these stitches right here, working in this top part here. Alright, put 3 double crochets in the first stitch. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm crocheting over the tail so I don't have to deal with it later. And in the next stitch, that's that real funky stitch, squeeze it however you can, because it's not letting me in. It's like, no, you can't come in. Yes, I can. Put 2 double crochets in that stitch, and then 2 double crochets in the next stitch. And then 2 double crochets in the next stitch. Then we're going to do 3 double crochets in this stitch. As random, it's just random. There's not going to be like 8 stitches in between the 3 double crochet. Just when I feel like it, I'm putting a 3 double crochet. Just random. Okay. And then in the next stitch, we're going to do 2. I almost feel like I could have went up a hook size to make this even more ruffly. And what it's going to do is it's just going to give you a skirt. It's going to give the ghostie a skirt. 2 double crochet. 2 double crochet in the next stitch. I'm going to do 3 double crochet in this one because I feel like it. Like I said, there's no rhyme or reason. 2 double crochet in the next one. And the more stitches you put in here, the more ruffled the skirt will be. So if you have the skirt kind of on the flat side, cool. If you want it really to have some like ruffles, put 3 double crochet in every stitch. Like the more stitches you put, the more roughly it will be. Bentley's breathing loud. So just 2 double crochet in every stitch, and then randomly I'm just putting 3. We're working on about 55 minutes here. So I think the ghostie is going to take us an hour. 1 hour. I just did 3 there because I felt like it. At least I think I did. Yes, I did. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. I'm going to do 3 in the stitches across the front just to see what happens, what that looks like. Give her more of a ruffle in the front. Like she's, like, you know, swirling her skirt. Just because this yarn is really thick, I feel like maybe the more stitches will do it more roughly, yeah. We already got more ruffle happening. So like I said, if you want to do more of a ruffle, do 3 in every stitch. Less of a ruffle, do 2 in every stitch and then randomly put 3. It's your ghostie, you do it however you want. I'm definitely going to sit and make a yellow ghost though, because I think having a ghost with a yellow sheet is hilarious. It's just funny, okay? It's like when you watch, was it Monsters Inc? And the Abominable Snowman had yellow snow cones. And he's like, they're lemon. Yeah, same kind of joke. Don't eat yellow snow. Definitely don't cuddle up with the yellow sheet. I'm just saying. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, we're almost around to the front. Oh yeah, see that wrinkle, that ruffle in the front is way cute. And it's still cute in the back, but yeah, the 3 is cuter. I'm glad we did 3 in the front. See, sometimes I change the pattern mid-tutorial. We just change it up. We're only going to do the 3 though across her front. I'm going to smooth it out towards the back so it doesn't look so crazy. It's meant to be like she's, you know, playing with her little skirt in the front. Now I was doing this, when I was planning this, I was like, should I do a ghost with arms? I'm like, no, I don't want a ghost with arms. I mean, could I? Yeah, essentially. You would just do it like you were making a pair of mittens and you would leave like a hole here and then crochet the arms on later. And it would still be a no-sew ghost, but she's adorable. I really like her. I like the way she turned out. I wasn't sure, this yarn is so stiff, I wasn't sure I was going to like her. I wasn't sure if the holes were going to be too holy. But it worked out. I'm going to put a random 3rd one here. Just to continue the pattern. And that's about it for this, guys. We're going to finish this row up. We're going to slip stitch to join, weave in your ends, and we have a ghostie. And it can be, like I said, you can do these any color. You can do the yellow sheet, you can do the good sheets, the floral sheets, you can do white. This one's off-white, so this is an antique ghost. This ghost has been around a while. And just to make sure there's not a gap here, I'm going to go into the false stitch here and put an extra stitch. And then slip stitch to join. Cut off enough to weave in the tail. I usually do like 3 to 4 inches for a tail. And there we have our little ghostie. She's so cute. I really like the extra stitches on the front. Here's the sheets, the Good Sheet Ghost, which is just as cute. And then we're going to do a yellow one. I'm not going to show you that on camera, but I will show you guys when those are done. Thank you so much for doing this tutorial with me. What do you think of these little ghosties? And they can be Halloween decorations, or they can be, you know, it's just something fun to make, like little ghosties. If you made her even shorter, she would almost be a squid. Oh, there you go, 2 tutorials in one. You can make her a squid too if you want. Just use blue yarn and make the body less rows. You got a squid. Thank you so much for watching. If you make any of these little ghosties, I would really love to see them. See how his eyes are further apart? He's got gold eyes. Show me. I want to see your ghosties. You can send me emails with your photos, but you can also put it in the Facebook group so everyone can see. You can post it on Instagram and tag me at Cinnamon Stitches, all one word, or hashtag Cinnamon Stitches, all one word. And I will see it either way. And thank you so much for joining me. I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.